Everyone, this is Ashley Latecki Ellenboss with Sky House Herb School and Apothecary, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite herbal autumn teas. Now, I had asked a question on my Instagram account, which is Sky House Herbs. I had asked folks, tell me what it is you're interested in. What can I talk about? What topics? What questions do you have about plants? And I got a huge long list. So I'm so thankful to everyone who responded, and also for those of you who watch my YouTube channel and also have put down topics you are interested in. Thank you, because that gives me incredible ideas and ways that I know I'm serving you. So today's topic, herbal teas for the autumn. I wanted to give you a blend of herbal teas that are already prepared. I know some of you might not have time to get out all your jars and mix herbal teas together yourself. So I'm going to give you both sort of what are some products you can buy or teas that are pre-made that are really good for the autumn, and then what are some things that you can do on your own at home, cutting up herbs and blending them together. So let's talk first about the primary actions that we're looking for in the autumn. Now, herbal actions are what an herb does, what its function is in the body. And so in the autumn, there's a few things happening. The weather is getting colder, and often the transition between summer and autumn can cause our immune systems to plummet or go down a bit. So the two main things that we want to do in the autumn time is we want to warm the body, which means increase circulation, increase heat, increase blood flow. And also we want to boost immunity. So those are the two main things when you're selecting your herbal teas for the autumn to consider. So we'll start with some herbal teas that I use pretty regularly in the autumn time, and these are pre-made blends. And I'll tell you why I like them so much. So this first one is a tea blend by Organic India. This is Tulsi, Turmeric, Ginger. And the reason I like this blend so much is that Tulsi is an adaptogen. So it helps our body respond to stress. It also has a lot of volatile oils in it, which can be really helpful for killing off bacteria, viruses. So it has that sort of antibacterial, antiviral component as well. Turmeric is a strong anti-inflammatory, and one thing that we know that weakens our system is inflammation. It can leave us more vulnerable to diseases, and especially to more chronic diseases. So I love turmeric. It's also very warming, and it builds life force, and it increases circulation. And then the last herb in this blend is ginger. And ginger is a very warming circulatory tonic. So this is a great herb if you suffer from cold hands and feet. If you have a cold stomach, you have a hard time digesting food, it feels like it just sort of sits there. And so when we combine all three of these herbs together, we've got this really nice adaptogenic, immune tonic, circulation enhancing, warming tea, and it tastes really, really good. So that's my first one. The second one is a tea from a company. It's actually not really a tea, it's more like a drink. So this is a mushroom cacao mix by a company called Sigmatic. And this is a really nice blend because it has cacao, which is high, it's a strong antioxidant herb. It's also warming. It also is very building for the blood and nourishing. It has a little bit of caffeine, so it can be stimulant. You want to be aware of that if you have any issues with taking caffeine. But otherwise, it's a really nice blend. It also contains reishi mushroom. And reishi mushroom is a known immunomodulator. So it has this great capacity to help our immune system regulate itself a little bit more intelligently. And reishi is also an adaptogen, so it helps our body respond to stress. What I really like about this formula is that it has a little bit of palm sugar in it. It also has some cinnamon, cardamom, and a little stevia, and it is a little sweet. So this one, I brewed some this morning. I just add a little hot water and then a little creamer of my choice. And it's like a cup of hot cocoa, and you're getting the hot cocoa flavor and taste and warmth, but you're also getting these medicinal mushrooms. The third one is a blend by an organic tea company called Numi. And this is their Ribos Chai. Now, this is a really, really nice blend because it has, I'll just read you the ingredients. It has rooibos, cloves, ginger, allspice, cardamom, nutmeg, and cinnamon. So a lot of these spice herbs like clove, ginger, allspice, cardamom, and cinnamon are all very, very warming. And that's going to increase circulation. We also have rooibos in here. Now, I wouldn't say that this one is exactly an immune modulator, this tea blend. However, what you can do really simply at home is add something like astragalus root into it. So you can add astragalus, you could add, I have my own reishi powder here. So I could add some reishi powder in, I could add some astragalus root in. This one you do have to decoct or cook. So you would add a few teaspoons to a pot of water and then let it simmer for maybe like 10-15 minutes. I also like to, with this one, I like to embellish it a little and add some fresh ginger root. So this is a really nice blend. It really tastes delicious. And then let's talk about, if you have a bunch of herbs and spices at home, what you might be able to do. So here's what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to recommend that, so I mostly eyeball when I make my herbal teas at home. I don't measure everything out perfectly. So I'm going to suggest that you watch me, and I'm going to suggest that you also play around with the combination of herbs until you find a blend you really like. So here's a pot. So if I'm going to make myself an herbal, an autumn herbal tea blend, first, what I'll do is I'll start off with a little bit of fresh ginger because it just adds something so wonderful to any tea that you're making. It's, again, it's warming, it's spicy, it's going to get the blood flowing. So I'm going to just cut this up. It's also a strong anti-inflammatory, which is a great thing to always have. And I always like to do 3 slices. So this is kind of, if I'm going to be making maybe 4 cups of tea, I'll just have like 3 slices of fresh ginger. So I'm going to add those into my pot. Cinnamon is another great one. Cinnamon is also blood sugar regulating, which can be really helpful if you have, if you suffer from, pre-diabetes, or if you have blood sugar highs and lows. It's also a little sweet, so it'll keep you from having to add too much extra sweetener. So I'm just going to take 1 cinnamon stick. I'm going to break it in half. It just increases the surface area. And I might have to do that on the edge of the table here. So I'm going to add a cinnamon stick in. I've got some cloves. Cloves are spicy. They're very aromatic. They also are very antibacterial. And so if there's any bugs in your system that you're trying to fight off, that's good. And I'm just going to add, maybe like 4 or 5 cloves. I also really love fennel. Fennel adds a little bit of touch of sweetness. It's really good for digestion. It's also quite warming. So I'll add in, just a little, maybe like a teaspoon of fennel seeds. Now you can also, if you have a mortar and pestle, you could crush these up. Then I'm going to add in some of my immune modulating herbs. So I have astragalus root here. Astragalus is a Chinese herb. It's a really great deep immune booster. It's one that will build your immunity over time. So you can drink it just once and it will help, but really it works best if you are drinking it on a regular basis or using it on a regular basis. So I'm just going to take maybe about, what's that, like maybe a tablespoonful. And you can also buy astragalus in slices and just use 1 slice. Then I'm going to grab a little bit of licorice root. I love licorice. It can overpower a tea quickly, so you don't need much. Licorice is also an adaptogen and it's an immune modulator. And it's a blood sugar regulator, and it tastes good. So you don't need much, maybe like a teaspoon of the root. Throw that in. And then I have some orange peel. And again, you can just use what you have, the things that taste good to you, that are warming. So you can use any kitchen spice. I'm going to use about a teaspoon of this. I happen to have some dandelion, and I love earthy, rooty flavors in my teas, kind of bringing the, just kind of grounds the whole tea blend. So I'm going to use maybe like 2 teaspoons of dried dandelion root and add that in. Now, one thing that's really nice, if you have some tea blends that are already around, is you can use them too. So, oops, don't do that, especially if it's open. Thankfully, that was closed. But what I can do is I can use some of this Numi Ribos Chai and just add it, just to add a little bit more dimension. Let me just show you this blend. It's really nice. It has a lot of allspice, so those tend to go to the top. So let me just reach in a little bit here. And I might grab, maybe this is like 2 tablespoons of this blend, and I'm going to put that in. All right. And then why not? I've got some reishi powder here, so I'll add about a teaspoon of my reishi powder. And then once I have all my herbs in, I'll probably add about maybe 3 to 4 cups of water and bring that to a simmer and keep it covered so that a lot of the volatile oils don't escape. And I'll let that simmer for maybe 15, 20 minutes. I'll turn off the heat, keep it covered, let it cool down and settle, and then I'll strain it. And then I can drink it throughout the day. And the nice thing too is if you cook it, it will just make your whole house smell amazing. So that's another really nice benefit of making and brewing your own tea like this, your own kind of chai-esque tea at home. And then you can store it in the refrigerator if you know you're not going to drink it all in one day. You can strain it, put it in the refrigerator. You can leave it on the stove and just reheat it as needed and strain it as you drink. And I think you'll find that not only will you really enjoy these really rich flavors, but that you'll find that your immune system, your vitality, your energy is just a lot higher because you're really nourishing your body. You're helping blood flow, which helps detoxification, which helps your immune system get to where it needs to go. And yeah, you'll just have a really beautiful and pleasant experience with the plants. So thank you all for watching. Let me know if you have any of your own sort of favorite things to add into your own autumn tea blends. Maybe you can add a little pumpkin spice in. I know there's some like pumpkin spice, there's like a whole class of pumpkin spicers out there that just love everything pumpkin spice. So you could throw your pumpkin spice right into your tea as well. Why not? So let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. And if you are not following me on Instagram, please hop over to Instagram and look for me at Sky House Herbs. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day.